Hello everybody, and welcome to the second of 3 videos on the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, in which we'll be getting all 105 achievements across the 3 games. In the last video, we covered all 36 achievements in the first game, and if you watched that, you'll already know that this video won't be a 100% guide for all the collectibles in the game, although I will be showing you some difficult to get secrets and orbs. In this video we'll be taking on Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, or Gateway to Glimmer if you're a filthy Brit like me. The game has a total of 29 achievements spread across 3 hub worlds, 22 levels, 3 boss fights, and a final bonus level for reaching 100%. Again, none of the achievements are missable, just like the first game, although personally I'd say a lot of the requirements this time are harder than the first game, so you will be probably retrying levels and sections a lot more. We start off with our setup cutscene where our 2 heroes decide on a vacation to escape the weather in the Dragon Worlds and, instead of heading to Dragon Shores, end up getting pulled into the Kingdom of Avalor to help fight back against the tyrant Ripto.
Well, someone forgot to invite me to the party.
And with that we start off not in a hub world, but with our first level of the game, Glimmer. There are still the usual gems scattered everywhere, but instead of dragons and eggs to rescue, we have orbs, which are primarily rewarded for succeeding in minigames and optional tasks in levels. In Glimmer there are 3 up for grabs, 1 for disposing of 6 lizards across the map using the new spitting mechanic, and 2 for flaming gem lamps with a superfly power-up. Each stage in the game has 1 temporary power-up in, which can be activated by defeating a certain number of enemies. Enemies in this game don't drop gems like in Spyro 1, but instead drop a spirit particle, so if you're missing gems in the level, they aren't in a well-hidden enemy this time. Anyways, enough of that. On with our first achievement, Hypersonic, for lighting all the gem lamps in the orb challenge in 15 seconds. This shouldn't be too hard if you don't miss any and keep a somewhat tight line through them. Also, although it would appear that you need the climbing upgrade to access the second gem lamp challenge, it is possible to get in on your first time playing the level by rushing through the cave with your flight like so. Neat! Upon reaching the end of the level, we are granted a talisman, which is the 3rd collectible type in Spyro 2, which is obtained automatically just for beating a level. As one of the achievements in the game requires you to have every collectible in the game, I'll also mention that, as in the first game, if you hold the left analog stick, sparks will point towards any treasure you still need to collect. After another short cutscene, we arrive in our first hub world, Summer Forest, which has portals going to the levels Colossus, Idle Springs, Hurricos, Sunny Beach, Aquaria Towers, Ocean Speedway, and, of course, Glimmer. Each level has 1 upgrade you can buy off money bags, the first of which being the ability to dive underwater when you swim. This costs 500 gems, and as we can't obtain that much in the hub world, we'll be heading straight into Colossus. As well as 400 gems, Colossus has 3 orbs for us, 1 for finding and flaming 10 possessed statues, and 2 for winning ice hockey games. The achievement in this level, Using Your Head, requires you to charge and defeat one of the goat enemies in the level. Do that for a super simple 25 gamer score. You can even do it this quick in the level. Now that we have the treasure for money bags, we'll be learning to dive and putting it straight to use in our 3rd level, Idle Springs. Bad Sushi is the achievement for this level, and it asks us to perfectly complete a part of the orb challenge in this level. One of the foremans in the level asks us to help solve 3 puzzles for an orb. The first is lighting all the tiles on the floor, like so. And the second is to feed fish to the idle head at the beginning of the level. When you're doing this, make sure you only feed it the yellow and blue fish and the achievement will be yours.
Okay, Spyro, just 1 more puzzle to go.
As well as these two challenges, we do have the third for the orb, which involves us stepping on a load of tiles, which I'm sure have some order to them, but I've never been able to figure it out, never mind. And also a supercharge route for this dancer to free her friends. This is also going to be the last time I'm going to mention the talismans, as they are needed to exit the levels, so I don't see the point in really mentioning them again. Now that we can swim and have plenty of gems, let's finally explore our hub world, Summer Forest. Most of the orbs in the hub worlds are collectibles akin to the first game, such as one for following an underwater cavern from the beginning of the level, or for solving a puzzle with closing doors. Sadly, one of the orbs you are unable to get until after we obtain the second ability in World 2, no skipping it this time. But our fourth orb is tied to the achievement and is probably the easiest one in the whole game. All we need to do is complete Hunter's gliding tutorial and we'll net ourselves... Oh, nobody saw that, right? And we'll net ourselves another 25 gamer score. Nailed it. Next on the hit list is Hurricos. While we're here, we'll be picking up the usual 400 gems, 2 orbs for doing a platforming challenge across the top of the stage after slowing down the rotor blades, 1 gem for defeating enemies and replacing some electro balls, and the achievement Exterminate for defeating all 7 robot enemies in the level. You can see on screen where they all are in the level, although most of them along the critical path, and upon defeating the last one, the achievement will pop. After this, we go straight next door into Sunny Beach and make our way through the level. Picking up an orb for super flaming boxes containing baby turtles, which just seems really above board. But sadly, the last couple of gems, 2 orbs, and our achievement are all tied to the minigame up this ladder, and sadly we can't get there early this time. You can, however, pick up these gems by quickly charging, jumping, and gliding from this railing for a whopping 10 gems. Yeah, not really worth it, is it? Moving swiftly on, let's finish up the last proper level for World 1, Aquaria Towers. This level is a little jump in difficulty for new players, as most of the level is entirely underwater. Whilst we're here, we'll be helping Hunter train his manta ray for 2 orbs, saving 6 seahorses trapped in towers for another orb, and picking up the achievement Lockjaw for defeating all shark enemies in the level. After you beat the level and flood the whole level with water, you need to use the Super Flame power-up, yes, it still works underwater, shut up, to take out 3 groups of sharks. One is here in the second big area of the level, and the other 2 are in the tunnel that you used the sub to get through earlier. After you blast the last one, you'll net another 35 gamer score. Now that we have all the talismans from World 1, we do have access to our first boss, Crush, but first, let's have a change of pace with Ocean Speedway. Speedway is Spyro 2's version of the flight levels, but this time, as well as the treasure tied to getting your 4 groups of Destructibles, and then your all-in-one run, there's usually an orb challenge for doing some activity with Hunter. We'll be doing that at the same time as getting our achievement to warm up the crowd for flaming all the fish in the stand next to the speedboats. After you flame them and get your achievement, don't forget to talk to the lady in the middle to do your orb challenge. I'd recommend going for this achievement after you do your all-in-one run, just for the sole fact that the timer counts down instead of up.
I guess now you think you're pretty good. Well, let's see if you're as good as this door will open.
Our final stop in Summer Forest is the boss level Crusher's Dungeon. Unlike the first game, boss levels in this game are just a fight, no collectibles or hidden paths. However, all 3 of them still do have an achievement tied to them. Here, we're tasked with not defeating any of the fodder enemies, that's the sheep that drop butterflies for sparks. Believe it or not, the easiest way to do this is actually just not to get hit, as the sheep only start to appear when Sparks is at green health. We managed to get through the whole fight without getting hit, getting us 45 gamer score and a skill point.
No, Crush!
With Crush flattened under some rocks, it's time to move on to our second hub world, the enormous Autumn Plains. This is the largest hub world in the trilogy, housing the levels Skelos Badlands, Crystal Glacier, Zephyr, Breeze Harbour, Scorch, Fracture Hills, Magma Cone, Shady Oasis, Metro Speedway, and finally Icy Speedway. Our first task is obtaining the second ability from Moneybags, Climbing, for 500 gems, as well as paying him to open up the portals for Zephyr, Icy Speedway, and the bridge to Shady Oasis. It runs us about half of our gems, but we'll easily be able to make that back. There are 2 orbs in Autumn Plains, one for breaking open this wall on the courtyard wall, and the second for breaking open this wall near the end of the level, getting up on the high tower, and then gliding all the way to that far platform. This will also unlock the achievement Long Distance. Just try not to over or undershoot the tiny platform, which is very easily done. Now we can climb, it's time to head back to Summer Forest to super clear World 1. We get the last orb and gems in the hub, and then head back into Sunny Beach. We can finally get our last 2 orbs, which are both linked to our achievement Rescued, which will get us 35 gamer score. To unlock this, we need to make sure we only charge attack the turtles and not the easier option of flaming them throughout both parts of the minigame. If you fail the minigame or accidentally flame one of the turtles, you'll have to restart the level for the achievement. This isn't too hard if you try to keep at least 2 of the holes in sight at all times. Then, if you hear the turtle's feet but don't see him, you know where he is. With Summer Forest 100% completed, it's time to head into our first level of World 2, Skelos Badlands. The achievement here, Unburnt, is unlocked by making it through the level without getting burned by the lava. You don't actually have to exit the level, you just have to make it to this NPC who will give you the talisman. After getting another 35 gamer score, we get on with the rest of the level, collecting our gems, 2 orbs for saving the villagers from hatching dinosaurs, another orb for retrieving all the bones for this guy's friend, and also 2 skill points for flaming every cactus in the level, and for spitballing these 4 flying cats. Next up is one of the more annoying achievements in the game, Bug Control from Crystal Glacier. It is tied to one of the orb challenges where we have to defeat 18 bugs using the Super Flight power-up only 1 time. The bugs will respawn quicker than you can defeat them, so if you're lucky, the only ones that will respawn are the first ones. You can land to charge or flame enemies you miss, just make sure you don't go through the Super Flight power-up again. If you run out of time, you can always throw yourself into the green goop and try again. No need to exit the level. We also collect an orb for getting this puppy back to his owner by catching fish for him. Next up is Gnot Cannon, a nice and easy achievement in Zephyr. We need to defeat a TNT thrower enemy with the cannon, and there are 2 enemies we can do this with. The first one is here, and the second enemy is this one, with this cannon. Although for me, this one is much harder. We also obtain 2 orbs for escorting these cowlicks back to Bo Peep, and 2 orbs for using magic beams to platform our way to Juliet the bird. The companion level to Zephyr, Breeze Harbour, is next, where we'll be getting 1 orb for detonating 4 pairs of mines, and the second orb for completing the infamous trolley car minigame. Completing this will also net us the Trouble No More achievement and a whopping 45 gamer score, which I think is maybe a little excessive. Just remember to jump and shoot the obstacles well in advance and you should be fine.
Great work, Spyro.
Now it's time for what I'd say is probably the second hardest achievement in the game, Duck and Cover from Scorch. Though first we will be picking up an orb for knocking some monkeys out of trees for Hunter, grab our 400 gems and the talisman as usual. Now, it's time for our second orb challenge of the level, the Flag Keeper chases. The 3 flags that we raised coming through the level we can now knock off with the Super Flame, along with Bob, who challenges us to tail him back to the end of the level. He throws bouncing bombs at you that explode after a couple of seconds, and if you get hit, you'll have to restart the chase. Our task for the achievement and the 35 gamer score is not to get hit in any of the 3 chases. If we do get hit, it's a full level restart, which is brutal. I'd recommend taking it as slow as you can and using as much of the high ground as possible. Upon getting the 3rd flag back, your achievement should pop. The next 2 levels we take on, Fracture Hills and Shady Oasis, are the 2 levels we'll be coming back to after getting our 3rd ability from the next hub world. We can, however, pick up all the gems and an orb for supercharging along this path to break out a thorn from behind this door from Fracture Hills, and most of the gems and an orb from Shady Oasis for retrieving 3 lamps from reskinned egg thieves from Spyro 1. While you're in Fracture Hills, don't forget about this strong chest we need to supercharge into to open. We also pick up the achievement Dryfoot from Shady Oasis for getting the talisman without touching the water. It's worth noting that we can get another orb in Fracture Hills for escorting an alchemist to free Hunter, but as we need the next ability for the orb challenge after that, we would have to redo the challenge anyways after re-entering the level, so we'll pick them up later. With that, we move on to the last proper level of World 2, Magma Cone, where we'll be picking up the achievement Ganked. We can pick up our 25 gamer score achievement during the minigame with Hunter in the volcano. We'll get challenged to 2 rounds of a crystal grabbing game, and for the achievement we have to grab one of the crystals Hunter is about to grab, like this. There are 2 orbs to pick up here, as well as 1 more at the end of the level for defeating some party popper enemies with rocks. If you're running low on lives, there's a tricky glide you can do just before Moneybags to grab a few extras. After completing Magma Cone, we will have all 14 talismans in the game and are ready to fight Gulp, but as always, we have some speedways to dominate. Let's start with Metro Speedway, where we can get the achievement really early on if you know what to do. All we need to do is flame the pigeons before anything else. 5 of them are on this straight path, and 3 of them are in this open area on each of the cranes. After you flame the 8th, your achievement should pop. After that, I take care of the bungee jumpers, then start the archers until I get to the stop signs. And then we finish up the archers for our all-in-one bonus. We also grab an orb by following Hunter as he deals with some thieves. Our second speedway is Icy Speedway, and in my opinion it's the easiest of the 4 in the game. The achievement here isn't too bad either, as all we have to do is charge through the 4 snowmobiles before we flame the 4 hang gliders like this. For our all-in-one, after this we can deal with the archers, and then flip between flaming the skaters and the Nessies. We also grab an orb from Hunter for flying through the rings in a paragliding minigame, which is way harder in the remaster compared to the original game. To find him, just charge into this igloo at the beginning of the level. Finally, wrapping up Autumn Plains is our boss, Gulp. We'll be picking up the second Conservation achievement here, which unlocks, again, by not hitting any of the fodder enemies during the fight. As a reminder, that's the sheep. This was, for me, the hardest challenge in the game, as similar to the Crush fight, fodder enemies only start dropping once you get to green health. What makes this more of a pain here is that Gulp can replenish his own health with fodder, so if that starts to happen, it might be time to restart the fight. Gulp himself isn't awful, he only has 2 main attacks, a charge that can be dodged by charging into him, and towards his right hand side, and AoE shots that fire ahead of whatever direction Spyro is facing, which can be dealt with like this. He also gets special attacks by eating the explosives you can use to deal damage. At around half health he'll start firing 4 shots instead of 2, and then for his last few hits he starts firing 6. After getting through the fight only taking 1 hit and sadly missing out on the skill point, we get our achievement and a well-earned 45 gamer score. After a fake-out ending, we get transported to our third and final hub world, Winter Tundra. Our final levels of the game are all here, and they are Mystic Marsh, Cloud Temples, Metropolis, Robotica Farms, Canyon Speedway, and a mysterious empty portal which will house our post-game level. Our first stop here is grabbing our final ability, which is the ability to head bash rocks in certain chests. Head bashing all the rocks in the hub gets us the achievement Yard Work, and they're all in this first area as you can see. We also grab an orb from one of the rocks, and 2 more from gliding to the wall. And also gliding and diving from the opposite wall into this hidden tunnel, which brings us out near the Speedway. With all of our abilities learned, it's time to finally clear up World 2 by revisiting Fracture Hills to grab our 2 missing orbs and also the achievement Giantslayer. After escorting the Alchemist to Hunter, we help Hunter eliminate the Earthshapers by head bashing them after they get stunned like so. Getting this done is vital to the achievement as we need to eliminate every Earthshaper in the level, and these bad boys do count. After that, the rest of them we can charge into the nearest pool of lava like so. All of the Earthshapers are in the lower area of the level, so you don't have to worry about pushing them too far as there's a lot of lava in this portion of the level. After the last fella bites the dust, the achievement should pop. We also have a brief revisit to Shady Oasis for the last orb challenge, if you can even call it a challenge, for head bashing some sinking hippos, and also for picking up the last gems from a head bash chest. Moving back to World 3, our first stop here is to Mystic Marsh, a super dense level with tree bridges and underwater tunnels which we'll be zooming around during our 2 orb challenges, a fetch quest for the Professor, where we swap a series of items to get him his pencil back, and a chase against 4 egg thieves, spark plug kangaroos? Sure. It's also worth noting that we get another orb from every level in Winter Tundra for getting to the end portal instead of getting a talisman. For the achievement Monkeying Around, we need to charge every one of the monkey enemies in the level, no flaming allowed. The vast majority are either in the lower portion of the level or in the tree bridges above. You'll need to jump while you charge as they're hanging from trees and branches. After tackling the 7th monkey to the ground, you should get your achievement. Up next is Cloud Temples, a stage revolving around defeating Warlock enemies to advance. Whilst here, we'll be grabbing an orb for tailing a secret agent back to his hideout without being spotted, an orb for ringing 3 bells using the Super Freeze power-up, as well as the orb for reaching the end. Those who watched my Spyro 1 guide might remember the Rat-tastic achievement from around the end of the game. While the achievement here, Sheeples, is the same premise. Get through the whole level without hitting any of the sheep fodder creatures. It's worth noting that this doesn't mean the ram enemies, just the ones that give you butterflies. Kind of reminds me of the do a loop-de-loop through an arch achievement from the first game, which just is worded a bit confusingly for the level it's in. Metropolis is next, which in my opinion is the easiest level in Winter Tundra. It has a lot of enemies, but it's super linear and also quite short. There's our usual orb for getting to the end, and then a further 2 for blasting sheep saucers down afterwards. The final orb we'll be getting at the same time as the achievement Ollie Ollie Oxen Free is for defeating this Ox boss and doing it without taking any damage. His pattern is pretty simple. He throws a bomb in one of 3 directions. On the left side, straight down the middle, and then on the right side, and finally down the middle again. Rinse, repeat. He's really easy to manipulate, as you can see, and you can also skate around in a circle like you can see here, and focus on those middle bombs. If you get hit, quit out the level and try again. Once you beat him flawlessly, an orb and 45 gamer score is yours.
Excellent work, Red. We can now defend our city properly.
Our final proper level of Spyro 2 is next, and it is a doozy. Welcome to Robotica Farms. We'll be picking up 3 orbs here, one for getting to the end, a nice easy one for flaming some flying pests, and one for completing a supercharge course while busting through some pumpkins. Spitball is the name of the achievement for this level, and to get it we need to defeat all 7 of the Robo-Bee enemies with spitting rocks. I'll show you in the video where they all are, but most of them are in the first half of the level. After the last one bites the dust, another achievement is yours. Only 3 left now. Time to finish up the Spyro 2 speedways with Canyon Speedway. As usual, we grab our gems for doing the all-in-one, and an orb for helping Hunter on a rail shooting segment this time. He's just hiding out next to the vultures. We'll be picking up Bugger Now to our way here, for charging through at least 5 of the 8 buggies during the all-in-one. If you follow my route, starting with the rams, then the rings, and then charge down onto the track for the buggies, and just go in the same direction as them for the sake of ease, during this, your achievement should pop before you hit the last one. Then finish up the all-in-one with the flying vultures in this segment. And hey, we also pick up the skill point for beating the record time, which I think is the first time I've done it in these series of videos. With finishing this level, we should have 100% in every level. All orbs, all gems. So, there's only one thing left. Ripto. Ripto's boss fight is a 3-phase fight, starting with a one-on-one fight where we have to pick up coloured orbs to attack him whilst dodging his fireballs and staff swings. We can get 3 different power-ups. The green orbs, which gives us an exploding AoE bomb. The red orbs, which gives us fireballs akin to the Super Flame power-up. And the blue orbs, which lets us supercharge around the arena with great difficulty. Using one of each of these power-ups should get us the RGB achievement for 25 gamer score. A mercifully easy achievement for a boss fight. Ripto can also pick these orbs up and use them against us, so watch out for his powered up attacks. The second phase is a remix of the Gulp fight, which has us using the orbs once again, and is pretty easy actually. If you can, it's worth trying to end this phase with as much health as possible, as the last phase has no fodder. Speaking of which, when Gulp is defeated once again, Ripto will take to the skies on a phoenix-looking robot thing for his 3rd phase, and we get permanent Super Flame and Flight to match. This phase isn't too bad until the last third, where Ripto will stick to the outside of the arena, hiding behind pillars and dive bombing at you occasionally, which is your only real chance to hit him. Once you get rid of his 3rd and final health bar, he is defeated, and we get to enjoy our ending cutscene, as well as finally getting all of our gems back from Moneybags. After defeating Ripto, we finally get access to Dragon Shores, which, if you remember, was our hero's original destination before we got redirected here. If you've obtained every gem and orb in the game, the door at the beginning here will open, otherwise you can take the portal behind you back to Winter Tundra to finish up the other levels. Once you're inside, you start Dragon Shores for real, which is a selection of minigames where you can win a total of 10 tokens. You can obtain 3 for dunking some of the more infamous characters in the game by spitting a rock at the target, another 3 for a Super Flame shooting gallery minigame, 1 for taking a ride in the Tunnel of Love, and the final 3 for playing another goddamn trolley minigame. Oh no. After you get 10, you can unlock the theatre where you can rewatch any of the game's cutscenes, but for our final achievement, Bees on Fire, we need to head to this door and walk through this permanent Super Flame power-up, which, it's worth noting, also applies to new game saves. As well as making enemies easier, you can polish up some of the achievements such as Giantslayer much easier with this. And with that, we've 100%ed the second game in the trilogy, and bring our total gamer score up to 2,000 out of 3,000. Although I would say it's maybe the shortest and easiest game to 100%, the achievements definitely are some of the cruelest in the trilogy, especially given how many of them can be failed, prompting whole level restarts. All we have left is Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon, which is a lovely middle ground between the hard platforming of the first game and the fun minigames of this game. But that, my friends, is a video for another day. Thank you very much for watching this one, and hey, please feel free to check out my video on Spyro 1 if you haven't already. And I hope to see you all soon, where we finish off our completionist run of the Reignited Trilogy. See you all then.
Come on, Sparks. We got a lot of vacation to catch up on. Yeah.